welcome to Healthy Living Tips with Erica, and I have a guest today that I'm so excited about. This is Kelly Scott. She is a yoga instructor here locally, and she's also a life coach. So what we're going to talk today about is actually one of my favorite subjects, and it's how emotions affect our health. If someone would have told me 20 years ago that negative emotions affected my well-being and my cell health, I would have been grateful. Then again, I don't know that I would have believed them. So I want to talk about emotions today, and I'm going to give you some life examples that what happened to me, and Kelly's going to do the same, and how we healed ourselves. So negative emotions, that could be fear, it can be anger, it can be jealousy, it can be low self-worth. Obviously, we know what the opposite of that is: happy, joyful, gratitude. So back in 2011, unfortunately, I had lost my mother. And shortly thereafter, I would say, I think it was about 6 weeks after, I started getting sick. I had 2 viruses go active in my body. I actually had to take a medical leave from work. I was seeing my naturopath. I was doing everything holistic. I'm like, what's going on with Erica? Why is your body breaking down? And it took me a little bit of time to figure it out, but I was dying of a broken heart. So the sadness, the grief actually broke my system down. You know, when we lose a loved one, there's, I think, the perception that we need to grieve and be unhappy, because if we chose joy, that would be frowned upon. But I will tell you, you have to pick joy at some point in your life. I took a medical leave after being in the corporate automotive after 25 years. So you know it had to be something to break me down for these viruses to go active and for me to be sick. So choose happy. Kelly and I have had this discussion a couple times, so I'm excited to talk to her about her life experiences. So how did you get a handle on emotions and healing yourself?
So you're right, Erica. Emotions actually affect the cells in the body. Totally. So if you're feeling good, your body's chemistry is different, and that chemistry is going to create a healthy environment. It's going to create healthy cells, and your cells are going to rebuild. If you're sad or angry or fearful, then your cells are going to constrict and they're going to wear away, right?
Right, exactly.
Right, and so for me it was initially, my first experience was I hit my head, ruptured a disc in my neck, and I was rendered immobile. And that was an emotional time, obviously, because I couldn't move.
Right.
And I didn't want to have an invasive surgery in order to heal. And then that came back a few years later. After I had almost healed, I would say I was probably about 75% mobile. When I was going through a divorce, all of a sudden, all of this nerve pain from the crown of my head down to the tip of my toes was active. And it was debilitating, where I would have to sit down and I couldn't move and I couldn't sleep. And so when I was going through my divorce and I was experiencing this and a lot of other stress on top of it with the divorce itself and things going on with my kids, I did seek professional help in many ways, and I had many questions that were not getting answered. So I went on a quest to help myself, and I researched the mind, the body, the brain, nutrition, psychology, and a few other things. But those are the things that were really important. And what I learned was all you have to do is take a deep, full breath in and out 6 to 10 times. And when you do that, you reset the mind. Now what you're actually doing is you're lowering the cortisol levels in the body. And the reason that's important is because when you have a lot of cortisol in the body, you get stuck in the amygdala, which is the fear part of the brain. So all of those deep breathings, what's happening is that as you lower the cortisol, you're able to get into the prefrontal cortex where you can think, imagine, dream, and plan.
Exactly.
And you're also
right.
changing the chemistry in the body.
Right.
So if you're lowering the cortisol levels, you're changing the chemistry already. And then when you're able to think, imagine, dream, and plan, then you're calm. The chemistry is changing even more. And if it's positive thoughts, as you know, positive thinking is really key.
Right.
That that raises all those good chemicals and good hormones in the body.
And then you have motivation and
Self-esteem.
yes, there's chemical things going on in the brain. And the one thing that we're going to talk about in a future segment is about the spinal health, because ladies and gentlemen, you carry emotions in your spine. I'll argue all day long because I've had too much experience and I've seen too much change in people when we start relaxing the neck, you know,
Yes.
or the shoulders, or how you sit. It's like, take a guitar string. You're not going to keep on tuning it and tightening the string and expect to get the sound and the frequency that you want. You need to relax the string sometimes to get the tune that you want. And our spine is no different. Emotion, stress. Let's just, right?
Absolutely.
It's the
It
same
shows up in the
thing.
body. So
Right.
it'll show up in the neck, the shoulders, maybe a racing heartbeat, maybe tightness in your chest. It could be feeling weight on your shoulders, literally. You
Right.
feel like your shoulders are being pushed down. You can get a sick feeling in the pit of your stomach, or you can have it right underneath the sternum, at the
Right.
top of the belly. And then it also shows up in your wrists, in your elbows, in your shoulders. It moves through the whole body
Right.
because of the cortisol and the inflammation.
And stressing out the body. So that is
Right.
one of my favorite subjects that I'm going to talk in the future is about spinal health. We won't do it here, but just know, choose happy, my friends, when you can. Call a loved one, call
Breathe.
a child, breathe, take a walk in nature and ground. That is so huge right now. You know, in the winter months, it's hard to do, but when we get a few of those great days, it's so important to get out and just walk and breathe. And that'll help release some of the stuff we don't want in our body. So,
Right, and all it takes is a 10-minute brisk walk to change the chemistry in the body,
Right. See?
to help you
Lovely.
feel more positive.
We all need to do yoga every morning.
Yes, yoga too, and you can use the body too to help
You
yourself.
can, absolutely. Yoga is great. In fact, I don't know if I've ever mentioned, but there's a cardiologist that is in, he's out of Sterling Heights, I believe, and he actually has a yoga studio next to his office because he knows how profound breathing helps his heart patients. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
But it's just learning. We're grateful to be a part of helping you guys learn. Like I said, if you're watching this and you were guided to watch it, I'm grateful. I wish someone would have told me this 20 years ago
too.
because I think we all would have planned life a little bit differently. Is that all you want to add,
Yeah,
Kelly?
that's
Or-
good, yeah.
You guys have a great day and we'll see you at the next segment.
Breathe.
Bye.